Hello and welcome. This is Adam Warfield here, and I am bringing you my summary for the fifth and final sprint of Pokécheck. For those of you wondering what Pokécheck is, it is a hack checker for the competitive Pokemon community. Alright, so we are just going to jump right into my goals here for this last sprint. So first of all, I want to finish the data entry for the Pokemon move join in my database. I had to do this entry for 3 of the Pokemon, and there were just over 50 for each, I believe. So it was a little tedious, about 150 entries, probably a little more than that. Took a while, but wasn't difficult. Then I had to finish the rules for the 3 remaining Pokemon. Once this was then it was a pretty easy task to complete as well. There weren't many rules for these 3 Pokemon, and none of them were very complicated. It was pretty similar for doing the rules for the one that I already completed. So, like I said earlier, it wasn't too difficult. And then finally, I decided that I want to enable the display of the shiny sprites. Basically, every Pokemon has 2 sprites, the standard sprite and the shiny sprite, which has different colors. And I felt as though it was important to be able to display both of them so that they could be accurately represented by the application. All right, so those were my goals. We're going to hop over to the user-facing demo now. All right, so here is the application in its current form. So basically, changes we have. First, we'll take a look at the shiny sprite display. So as you can see, when you click the shiny box, it changes. If you change to a different Pokemon, it will bring up the shiny sprite. You can unclick it, it'll go back to normal. This wasn't too difficult. It was very similar to the modeling I did for all these changing sprites and graphics up here. The only thing I had to do was make sure that it, when it changed Pokemon, it also took whether or not the sprite was shiny into account, because initially it would just change to the standard sprite rather than the shiny sprite. So I had to remedy that in the code a little bit, but it wasn't too hard. So the other thing that you will be able to see that is a change are that all the moves are now in for the Pokemon. This was a result of all the data entry I did. So Tapu Koko last week had all of its moves, so we'll go to one that didn't. Here's Tapu Bulu. He has all of his moves now. Same is the case for Lele here. And Tapu Fini. So there wasn't any actual code associated with this because the code is already there to populate these arrays. The difference was that these 3 Pokemon didn't have any data in that join to let the database know what moves were associated with them. So last week, when these were selected, these lists here would be blank. But now that data is in the join, they can be populated. All right, so let's run a check on one of these to see what's up, because the 3 Pokemon that didn't have moves did not have rules associated with them either at this point last week. So let's take a look at Fini. We'll just leave everything as is for now. And level 1, you see Tapu Fini cannot be below level 60. So we'll put that up to 60, and it will pass. Change this to telepathy. It's going to fail. It cannot have this ability yet. As you can see, it has not been released. There's one other. I can forget what it is. From daycare, it fails as well because it cannot come from the daycare. Those are the 3 rules associated with it. The three rules are actually the same for all three of these: Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini, and Tapu Lele. Tapu Koko is a little different because it has special stipulations to its shiny that were actually showed last week, but that is the one rule that is different between the four. For the rest of them, it was all pretty much just cutting and pasting the same rules. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the user-facing demo. There really wasn't too much to show here this week. We'll hop over to the code walkthrough next, and we'll show a little bit of what was going on there. All right, so first we are going to look at the database here. So this is the only table where data was entered this week, but all of these with 785 as the Pokédex number were in there before. It'll switch over to 786 down here. So I had 58 entries before this week in this join. Essentially what this is doing is here's the Pokédex number of the Pokemon, which is the primary key there, and then the move ID number of the move, which is the primary key here, and saying this Pokemon has this move. And they have many, many moves. So you see like Tapu Koko had 58. Tapu Koko's number is 785. It had 58. And then we ended up with 223 total for this week. So we entered a lot of data. 786, I believe, is Tapu Lele. 787 is Tapu Bulu. And then 788 is Tapu Fini. So I probably could have written a script for this, but I decided to just do it manually. It may have taken a little more time, but I'm not the best with automating things for SQL with scripts. So I decided to just do it this way. It's a little tedious, but like I said earlier, not too hard. Next, we are going to check out some of the rules that we put in. Okay, so last week we still had this switch case here, but all the names were in it, but Tapu Koko was the only one with any if statements within it. We added these if statements to all the others. They're actually all identical for these three, so I will just walk through Tapu Fini's here. So basically it's saying if it's level 60, the string to return is Tapu Fini cannot... Well, you take the original string to return, which is already failed. Let me see if I can find that up here. Yeah, string to return equals failed. That just it's just there to identify clearly that this Pokemon has failed the hack check, and then you add the reasoning behind it. There's the ability. So if the ability is equal to telepathy, the string to return is added there again. Then the same thing if it's from the daycare helpers. And then you're saying pass to false for each one of these just to make sure that if something fails, that does get passed. Because if it does not, you just return the string of passed. If it's failed, pass is set to false. So you return the string that was set up here in the switch case. Basically, it just provides a clear statement of whether or not the hack check was passed or failed and the reasoning. All right, so next we are going to hop over to the view and we are going to look at the shiny sprites. So here we just have an array list of the paths, an array list of the Pokemon sprites. You need two of them to have the standard and the shiny sprites. If it gets selected, so basically it runs through this anytime the shiny select is selected or is interacted with, whether it is selected or deselected. If it is selected, it goes and it sets the sprite to the shiny sprite. If it's deselected, it goes and it gets the standard sprite. And I had to add the shiny sprite list in here too for when the Pokemon Select is played with. I talked about earlier how if I switched the Pokemon Select, it would just default back to the standard sprite because that was all it knew how to do with the Pokemon Select. So now it has both of these array lists, and it's going to check if the shiny select is selected, and it operates the same way as the other action listener, where if it's selected, it gets the shiny sprite. If it's not, it gets the standard sprite. So that's pretty much all I have to show for this week's sprint. It was definitely a little easier than the previous sprints. There wasn't too much left to do to wrap this up, but I'm pretty satisfied with how everything turned out. And I'd like to thank you for watching.